This is question 2 out of the 10 that I designed. This is a calculator question, and pause the video if you want to do so, but we'll have a look at it. A CD shop sells two CDs, Popstatic and Musictastic. I didn't use any real artists in the question because I don't exactly want to get sued for copyright. So, anyway, Richard buys 4 copies of Popstatic and 6 copies of Musictastic, and the total cost is £131.50. Let P be the cost of a single Popstatic CD, and let M be the cost of a single Musictastic CD. 1 mark. Write down an equation in P and M to illustrate this information. So we have to use P and M. So P is Popstatic, M is Musictastic. We have 4 copies of Popstatic. So the cost of that will be 4 times P, because P is the cost of 1 album, but they've bought 4 albums or 4 CDs, so it's 4 times P, but 4 times P is 4P. And he also bought 6 copies of Musictastic. 6 times the cost of 1 Musictastic is 6 times M, so it's 6M. And the total cost is £131.50. We're going to make the assumption that P and M are in pounds. So running on the assumption that P and M are in pounds, we can write that equation. Not too bad, and that is 1 mark. Section B, Lois goes to the same shop and she buys 3 copies of Popstatic and 7 copies of Musictastic, and the total cost is £134.25. So again, we have to write an equation in P and M to illustrate this information. 3 copies of Popstatic is 3 times P, and 7 copies of Musictastic is 7M, and 134.25. And that is number 2, mark 2. So Richard and Lois have both been to that shop, and these equations model what they've spent and what they've bought. We'll just see on the new page. In fact, we'll do see on this page, in fact. I'm going to label these equation star and equation star star. And we'll label this one. The reason I want to do this is because I can then refer to these equations as star and star star. So C is that Rahul goes to the same shop and Rahul buys 5 copies of Popstatic, and 3 copies of Musictastic. Calculate the total amount spent by Rahul. If you want to do that, you have to find out how much one of each album individually costs. So we have to find the values of P and M, because P and M are placeholders for the costs of each album. We can use the 2 equations that we wrote, and if you've been paying attention, this will be simultaneous equations. So what we have to do is we have to scale either one or both of the equations. And what we have to do is we have to get at least one set of coefficients matching. The signs do not matter, so you either have to have the P coefficients matching or the M coefficients matching. The coefficient is the number in front of the P or the M. Positive or negative signs do not matter. At this moment in time, you just need the number to be the same. I'm going to go with matching up the coefficients of P, because M is going to be more complicated. So if you multiply 4p by 3, you get 12p, and if you multiply 3p by 4, you get 12p. The lowest common multiple of 4 and 3 is 12, so we're going to scale up the equations. So we want to scale up equation 1, and we're going to multiply that by 3, and we're going to get star 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 this time. We've already used star and star star, so the new equation will be star star star. (4p times 3 is 12p, but we have to multiply the entire thing through. 6m plus 3 is 18m. And £131.50 is £394.50. You do have a calculator. Always use it. Don't think that you can do it in your head, because the pressure of an exam can get to you. So if you have the option to use a calculator, even if it seems easy enough to do it in your head, use the calculator, because the nerves, the anxiety gets to you, and what might seem like simple arithmetic actually catches a lot of pupils out. Even at Advanced Higher, ever since they came up with the non-calculator paper, a lot of pupils make mistakes because of long multiplication. We're going to then multiply star star by 4. Going to have to multiply the entire thing through. So 3p times 4 is 12p. 7m times 4 is 28m. And if you want to multiply £134.25 by 4, you get 537. So we have the scaled up equations, and this would be mark number 3. We have 12 and 12, they match up. So if we take away, I should have labelled this one as equation star 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 star. And we'll do this one, take away this one, and we'll do this on the new page. And the purpose of putting the stars is that we can call the equation without having to write it again. We can cancel out the p's by doing this, take away this, because you would get 10m equals 537 minus 394.50. £12p minus 12p is 0. We cancelled them out, and 28 minus 80 is 10m. And we have 537 minus 394.50, and we get £142.50. Dividing by 10 gives you 14.25. This would be the fourth mark. Is for getting this. You could find P first, then find M, but the numbers involved in that method are far more complicated, and the easiest one to do is cancel out the P's. We say music-tastic is one copy is 14.25. We have M, we now want to find P. I'm going to suggest you use one of the non-scaled equations rather than using the scaled one, because the numbers are easier to work with. But let's go with star, so the first one. And we're told that 4p plus 6m equals £131.50. £4p plus 6 times 14.25. Gives us £131.50. Six times £14.25. Again, use the calculator if you have the option. That's 85.50. Whoops. Sorry, just had a technical issue there. So 4p is going to be, well, that's 131.50 minus 85.5. If we take 85.5 away from both sides, and that gives us 46. Dividing both sides by 4 to get p on its own is 1150. We say that one copy of Pop Static is £11.50, and getting p is the 5th mark. One mark to go. We have to find the total amount spent by Rahul. So, let's see. So 5 copies of Pop Static is 5 times p and 3m. We know the cost of one of each. We're going to substitute. So p is 1150. And m is 14.25. And plug these into the calculator, and you'll get an answer of 100.25. So that gives us the total cost in pounds that he spends. So Rahul spends £100 and 25 pence. And that is mark number 6. I hope you found this video useful, best of luck with the studying. If you have any issues, just leave a comment in the comment section. But yeah, best of luck.